Have you ever wondered what is coaching? What's the difference between executive coaching, life coaching, and you want to know, could I be a coach or do I need a coach? Those are great questions. Welcome to The Ordinary Professor. My name is Dr. Kortney Peagram, and I talk about coaching in and out. I am all about emotional development. I am about emotional literacy and regulations, all things feelings. I also have a ton of experience in people skills and coaching. So I have taught classes on coaching. I have completed certificates. I have focused my doctorate in the coaching leadership development. I have a lot to share about this. And so why am I doing these series in my kitchen? Because oftentimes executive coaching or even coaching can seem really overwhelming, or, I don't want to use the word bougie, but it's like, oh, you have a coach. Anyone can get a coach, right? So, and anyone can become a coach with the right training. So I want to make this super chill and you feel comfortable that me and you are sitting in my kitchen talking about, do you need a coach? Is this something you want to try? Because that's why I'm here. Okay, so let's talk about what is coaching. Coaching is engaging in a dialogue to discover or understand a focal issue. So you've got to go a little deeper, right, to get to the focal issue. And then once we, as a coach, we identify that focal issue, we need to come up with a plan. Let's think about a blueprint, right? And some goals so that we can identify okay, what is our journey together? Okay. So coaching is not giving advice. Coaching is not sharing your own stories or talking about yourself. Coaching is actively listening and reflecting back what your client is saying in such an art that your client can figure out how to do the thing, how to solve the problem, what strategy they might need, what is their blind spot. So, and I'm really, really, really strongly about not giving advice as a coach. You can do it as a consultant. You can do it as a mentor. But as a coach, you do not give advice because one, I am not you, so the advice I'm giving is already biased. It's according to my life, according to my experience. Might it work? Yes, right? If I'm educating you, I can give you all the tips and tools that you need to succeed. I am a how-to psychologist. I love advice. I love recommendations, right? In coaching, zip it. No, okay? That's not this time or space. Now, if you end up doing a lot of the client work themselves or sometimes in career coaching, you're rewriting resumes, that is not coaching, that's consulting. I'm just going to be a Tina technicality on the terminology. Now, in job coaching or career coaching, there's a fine line where you often end up consulting a bit, maybe you're put, especially if you're in HR and you're job coaching, you got to be you just need to do this, Bill, just take care of this, right? So it's a little more direct, where life coaching, life skills coaching, and executive coaching, think more strategy. I got to get you to see where you're at. We need to work on these things, right? Here's some of your areas of development. Here's your strengths. Depending on the type of coach you are, then you would develop a plan, you'd set goals, deliverables, all that stuff, okay? So that's executive coaching. And in life coaching, it's really about understanding what's causing it without, so life coaching, have a lot of feelings about that, is also problematic if the person doesn't have the right certification. Any therapist can be a life coach, honestly. They have gone through a gazillion hours of training and the education, right? They might not specifically like it because it's a little different, whole different practice. But a life coach is not a therapist, okay? Life coaches, that's why I'm do not take advice from a life coach. I would fire them, okay? And here's my why. They might give you recommendations, which is slightly different to try, but to tell you what to do, right? Or to tell you how they did and they had succeed, that is not a coach. That might be a great podcast. It might be a great teacher, a great mentor, but not a coach. Because the minute you talk about yourself, you're making the session about you, right? Hello? Does Jenny care about my financial success? She might if she's trying to learn out how I did it, but she's not looking for me to do that if she's asking me to coach her. She's looking on the way she can do it for herself because her strengths are different than mine, okay? So that is really important to understand when it comes to coaching. So now as we wrap up all these definitions, right, we need to ask ourselves, what would a coach do and how would they help me? Again, back to you find the problem, the area of development, and then what they do is they set a plan forward to help you get there. Sessions can vary. I do sometimes people skills coaching for one session, one and done, right? It's an easy skill that just like a foundation skill, like time management, or it could be like some of the executive functioning skills, like people skills, can be 1 session, 2 sessions. Typically for life skills, I go 4 to 6 sessions on the deeper focal issues. In executive coaching, I usually do 6 months engagement minimum so we can strategically plan, right? So you're seeing there's not like a specific like package unless you meet with the person and you talk one-on-one and you figure out what the focal issue is and they can help you. So a one and done is different, but your coaching engagements can vary. Now, lastly, what you do want to make sure is the client match. As someone looking for a coach, you have to make sure that you're matching with your coach, meaning that they have the skills, abilities, and knowledge to help you. The personalities jive, they feel comfortable with you. Because if you don't trust your coach, right, or you don't like them, you're not going to listen to them. So that's why, like in some companies, which I love, like they call it like chemistry meetings, and I totally use that too. You need to have this chemistry meeting and being like, can you help me? Okay. Now, so this is just a snapshot of what coaching is. I hope this is helpful. I want to make these short videos so you and I are just here chatting in my kitchen about coaching, and you can make a decision for yourself. Or these tips are going to help you develop your coaching practice. Okay, this is it for now. Subscribe, and I can't wait to hear your feedback, questions you might have. I'm here to help you. Okay, take care. Bye.